that bag relationship will go once we've sort of trimmed this stuff up. It'll disappear, and you'll see a bit more of separation than you did before. But certainly, as far as a muscle goes, it does really very much share a continuity in a way that, I mean, other muscles do that as well. Sort of the iliacus and psoas, they become the iliopsoas. There's probably quite a few others, but I can't think of them straight away. Let's look at some movement in here, make sure we're constantly looking at movement. And I have to be careful now as I introduce movement here, because with the fascial bag opened, it's going to break. This bag here, that muscle there, if I put too much strain on it, it's just gonna rip apart. You can sort of see see that in there. It just falls apart. There's not really much to hold it in place. The integrity of the muscle is gone. As I've pulled the arm up, that's it. We've lost it. It's out of here. So it begs the question that if the muscle is so easy to break and destroy, are we therefore looking at a lot more of the fascial tissues in relation to things like shoulder injuries that create the inflammatory responses? I'm just asking the question, that the muscle itself has a limited range, so therefore, perhaps we can come back and think of, as far as shoulder injuries are concerned, then we might find that there's more interest or more things to look at in more of the superficial tissues, and therefore away from the direct area of the shoulder as well. Shoulders are tricky things in lots of sports. We have what's known as the cocking phase in things like baseball and cricket. So you pull the arm back and you throw. You have that throwing action, and these are very common injuries. We talk about rotator cuff. We'll talk about a little bit more about rotator cuff another point, but rotator cuff injuries: supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres major, and subscapularis. So we'll be looking at all those structures when we get to them. But for now, we're just trimming away the fascia, and then going to go from there. What's been interesting over the years, as far as injuries are concerned, is the repeat level of repeat injuries, and it's been estimated that nearly all sports injuries are repeat injuries. These are injuries that have happened and then have come back again, and so it begs the question: why is this the case? Is it the injury not repaired in the first place, or was there other factors involved in the element of, can we look at other areas involved that hadn't been necessarily considered in relation to the injury itself? Was there stabilization happening through the injury? And certainly in terms of what they found is that the best way to avoid injuries, particularly things like shoulder injuries, is to do it better, is to be more effective, better coaching, and not just going back. Because the trouble is, of course, if we're not careful, we end up with the idea the physio gets our player better, and a player goes back and just does the same thing which gave him the injury in the first place. That's changed a lot now over the years in terms of injury management, but we still see a vast number of injuries as being repeat injuries. Okay. Going to take this little bit of tissue away, tidy things up a bit, and that's going to help us get a better perspective on where we're at. Better view. And we can see the arm hanging down, a little bit of soft tissue. You know, it's not the not quite fresh tissue, but it's very, very close to it. It's very, you know, very much what you'd expect to see in unfixed tissue. So, you know, there you go. Okay, I'll move that out of the way a little bit.